Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. It's me again, Margaret. 10 points so somebody knows what that's from. Hey, anyway, okay, we're not doing the Hewlett-Packard digital voltmeter made back in 1960. Instead, we're doing television repair. Woohoo! Zenith, let's see, what is that thing? 17D25, I believe, chassis. It's black and white television, 17-inch screen. It has some issues with it. I've had it for a year or two. Bought it in Shreveport, Louisiana at a flea market over there, and did some minor repairs to it, and it works, but it has a pin cushion on the top and the sides, and I got it off my shelf. It goes right up there, and I took it down from there yesterday and plugged it in, and doesn't quite have that problem anymore, but it did have a couple of new problems that I hadn't noticed before. It hadn't done that before. I'm not sure what's up with it, but it doesn't want a sync lock on horizontal, which could be just that little comparator diode in there, this little dual germanium diode. It could be that, it could be other issues, but it also has a buzz in the sound. And I'm not 100% sure the filter capacitors on this thing is good. I haven't checked this, like I don't even remember anything I've checked. I know I changed the components in it, but this thing could use some love, and the deflection yoke on this thing is pretty ratty. It's pretty bad. I'm trying to find another one. It's I don't remember what the Zenith part number is, but we'll get to it. But I did get a Zenith service manual. An actual Zenith service manual, not a Howard W. Sims. So anyway, let's turn it on. Let's see what it's doing. And before we turn it on, of course, you know, you got to see what it is. It's a there's the back of the set right there, all metal chassis. Let's see here. There is the chassis number, 16D25. See, it has a power transformer. Here's value 4 rectifier. There's the filter capacitor right there. Here's the damper diode. I think that's a 6AX5. Memory serves me right. Let's see. Let's see here. Let's see. Yeah, I'm trying to remember here. It's been so long. I messed with these things. I think it is a 6AX5. I think it is. But anyway, here's the horizontal output, which is what is that? 6DQ6. Yes. And then let's see. Here's the vertical deflection amplifier over here. Audio output stuck back there. Probably a 6AQ5, I think. I don't remember now. Anyway, the CRT is a 17DQP4. It's rather strong, but this is what I'm showing you right here. It's the deflection yoke. This is actually a back off another yoke that I put on here because the black cover that went on this was completely deteriorated. The other thing is there's a little thermistor in here that was bad, broke off, and I stole it off another one to put on here. So, but this yoke is pretty bad, if you'll notice. But here's a magnet here for stability. It's supposed to be a magnet in here, and I notice there's not one in here. And this is for linearity. It doesn't look like it has one. Now, I have no clue what's been done to this set. It's pretty rough. I'm trying to find another yoke for this. Can't like I pick up the phone, you know, and call Zenith dealers and say, hey, I need a new yoke for this. So, anybody know where I can find a yoke for this or have one, let me know in the comments. Anyway, oh, and there's my TV repair mirror. So if I'm working on it back here, I don't have to keep looking in the front. I ain't gonna tell you how much I pay for that. Yeah, this is the front of the set right here. It looks pretty good. It's in decent shape. Needs a little bit cleaning. It's got a little bit of, if I decided to. And of course, it needs a new handle. I hadn't figured out where to source those from yet. There's the knobs. You can tell this back one's been turned a lot more than these other ones here. That's a vertical hold. What does that tell you? But the other thing is, I've noticed when I turned it on the first time the other day, is the horizontal was way off frequency. So I got something that's changed in this set, and also it's affected the audio. So I'm going to try to get this to where I can get to it to work on. Being it's got a 5U4 in there, this tube is supposed to be vertical, in either top up or bottom down, either one, but not horizontal. It's not a good thing to run them like that. So let me get set up to test this thing. We'll turn it on. Also, one other thing, the power cords for these things use this little dual hole here, little snake bite holes, whatever you want to call them. I have not been able to source any of those. Boy, I could use some. I need some non-polarized, and I need some polarized. Anybody know where I can get some of those? Let me know in the comments as well. So anyway, let me show you one other thing before I turn this dude on. This is my audio. This is my signal source right here. Little Apex Digital DTV converter. I think I described this before. Yeah, I did in my shop tour. Just a brief. Anyway, the output is going into this guy right here, and this could be the problem right here. I'm thinking about taking the output of this directly to that. Anyway, that could be my problem audio right there. Don't know. Oh, look. Anyway, the output of this comes down, it splits. One of them goes up to this cable, which is what was hooked to the television, and the other one comes out here. And this right here is a signal, the DTV signal, where if I wanted to just split it to a DTV, I could do that. Anyway, of course, one of these days, I'll mark this stuff. This is my roll-around cart that I made. Work on kind of stuff like this. Very handy. It gives me a lot of room on the workbench. Anyway, that's what it looks like with the mirror. I can see it from back there, which really comes in handy. So let me get you on a tripod, and we'll let you look at this thing. Okay, I'm going to apply power to it. Maybe it won't blow up. So I got to back there and do the basics again. I'm going to check B+ and all this kind of stuff. See how the horizontal is? Don't want to lock in at all. The audio sounds like crap. The horizontal not stable at all. AGC works really good. The horizontal's got issues. I think it's a sync diode. I'm going to see if I can find it and replace it and see if it makes a difference. But I noticed the pin cushion's a little bit there, but it ain't nothing like I thought it would. So I'm going to probably not worry about it because of the yoke, and I don't want to mess with that yoke much. I'm going to disregard this. Turn that audio down.
It was the week after Thanksgiving.
Okay, what happens in October? Anything?
No.
You're still waiting around for... All right, so when does she call you to tell you I've changed my mind?
Well, first of all, I was away on vacation, and so I got a call from her. I said, I don't want to be the same. Okay.
Tuner needs cleaning.
I'll be back, I think the first part of December. I said, I'll be back. Come and see me. So, I'm in the office one day, and she just comes up.
in December?
Yes.
November the
Usually when you turn them, when it goes into that, you turn them right back. That's supposed to be your optimum point for tuning these things. But something's off. I'm not sure what. If I adjust the buzz control is almost, that is fully counterclockwise right there. Like I said, the AGC works really good on this. So that's where I'm at on this set. I thought it had a worse pin cushion issue, but I think it's fine. I'm not going to mess with it. It really needs a new yoke. It needs a yoke with all the little magnets in it. Now I can get these little refrigerator magnets or these little stick-on magnets and can do stuff with that. But I think at this point I'm not going to mess with that. So let's figure out let's go through this set, make sure the DC voltages are right. Let's have another look at the chassis. Let's look at the DC again. Let's look at the DC voltages, find that detector diode, change it, see if that makes a difference on the horizontal lock, and just make a few checks and go from there. I don't think it's an alignment deal because it was working great, and I hadn't turned it on in months, and so something's changed, deteriorated or something. So let me get set up with all this stuff and figure out a better way to work on this. Get that power supply rectifier in the right position, and we'll come back. All right, unfortunately on this TV set, it's not easy to get to everything, so I got to pull the whole chassis out of the cabinet. To do that, I had to remove the tuner, and then the volume control. I had to unhook or unsolder the speaker lead, and also I had to take off what's left of the rabbit ears right here. This whole piece is broke right there. Trying to figure out a way to repair that. So the next thing I need to do is lay it on its front again, take 4 screws out under the bottom of this. I think I got a few screws I got to take off around the top of the CRT on the front of the discussion. So I got to do all that, take that out, and then I should be able to pull this whole chassis out. So let me get that done. I'll be right back. Alright, since I screwed up, I got to do this scene again. Here's the factory schematic for this thing, or the factory service manual for this thing. I ordered that, I got it in, ready for this to go. So, the filter choke in this thing looks pretty rough. I'm going to have to see if I can find one of those. It looks like it's seen better days. I'm not sure the effectiveness of that. I may pull it loose and measure it to see if it's even any good, which could be part of the problem, but I'm not seeing no hum in the picture, but who knows. Anyway, I'm going to do some DC voltage checks on this thing right here. But also, I changed a few caps in it here a while back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 caps that I know of. And then here's a couple of bumblebees that's going to need to be changed. There's a couple of ceramic paper caps in here. Here's one down here, 0.0068 microfarad right there. So what's that? 680 picofarad? No, I'm sorry, 6800 microfarad. Anyway, 0.047 right there. Let's see, what else? Yeah, here's the FC diode. I'm not going to pull it out. I'm just going to do just loop it, solder a new one back in. I'm pretty sure it's weak. Alright, so let me do some voltage checks on here. I don't think I'm going to bore you with the details. I'm just going to do it off camera and make notes, and then I'll come back and report what I found, and we'll go from there. Okay? Alright, right off the bat, according to the schematic here, the service manual, on coming on the output of the rectifier here, we should have on the output of the Pi network, which is the half moon of this capacitor right here, that should be 275 volts. And we're measuring about 245. So on the half moon of that, yes, 245, which means raw B plus is coming in at 260. So right off the bat, we either have a weak rectifier or capacitor. So let me just kind of measure the AC ripple on this thing. Got about 13 volts of ripple there. About a volt, 1.25 volts of ripple there. Not excessive. So let's try another 5U4. See if we can get a little bit more B plus out of this thing. I used to have a tube puller years and years and years ago. Doesn't look the best in the world. See where the getter is right there? Had a gray ghost looking mess. Yeah, 5U4. Old GE. Old GE tube. Just lay it down very carefully, and I believe this is a 5U4. Audit. Wasn't marked, but I believe it's a 5U4. It's the same size. We'll find out, won't we? Let's see if that helps out any. Fire in the hole! Well, we're at 375 before it warms up. 280, 270, 257. We're at 253 volts right there. We're still about 25 volts low. We're at 267 volts right there, so that tube didn't really help a whole lot, did it? Of course, it wasn't a super strong tube either. Don't know if I have another one. Let me remeasure that. I think that other tube might have been a little stronger. Yeah, 267 volts. Yeah, I think that other tube was stronger. Remind me of that, 267 volts. Yeah, it looks like we're going to need a new rectifier though. Alright, here we go. I like this little skid up here. I can put my hand on here and stabilize my hand while I measure. Alright, here we go. 264 volts, 262. Well, I guess the other one was a little bit stronger. That's how quick my memory fades. Yeah, I guess we'll put that other tube back in there. It seemed to be a little bit more stronger. Okay, I stand corrected. Anyway, I was saying a while ago, I used to have a tube puller, which was a little mat, kind of like a little rubber mat. And love to have another one of those. With a mat, well, I can't tell you where I've seen it. No, I ain't gonna say it. Alright, here we go. Get that tube back in the box for safekeeping. Alright, let's power back up. We may need a rectifier tube, so I'm gonna have to get. I don't think I have another one. right off the bat, our B plus is low. Yeah, that is a stronger tube. Not by much, but a little bit. Okay, so supposed to have 275 volts B plus. The input right here, the square, is supposed to be a 40 microfarad, and then the goes through this filter choke right here, comes back out to this capacitor, 253 volts. That's what the 275 should be. So we're roughly 25 so volts low on the B plus. Could be something loading it down, who knows. We're drawing on this meter here. Let me see what the output voltage is. We're drawing on the 475, so on 470. We're drawing about 190 watts. 4 amp scale. We're measuring at 1.6 amps. And it's rated for 1.9 amps. So, all right. So, making a couple random measurements here. It's supposed to be a bypass cap right here. So I guess while we're here, let me go ahead and change this ASC diode. Let's see how our sync goes. So let me go get a diode. Man, that's the last one I got right there. Used the other one. I had two of them apparently, and I used the other one on that little black and white Admiral here a while back. That's the last one I got, so wish me luck. Alright, I got the diode changed. Not sure the right one or not, but that's all I got. So I got to put the set back up on its face where I can see the picture. Guess I could have done that before I turned the camera on, huh? So everything situated. My signal source back on it. I don't know why I took this part loose right here. Can y'all see? Yeah. Shouldn't really have done that. You know, sets. Lord knows how many people have worked on it over the years. What all been done to it. And I know that the flyback, not the flyback, but the deflection yoke is pretty rough shape, and the power supply filter is pretty rough. I mean, it looks like it probably is not no good. So it looks like it's got some shorted line. Something's happened to it, almost like it's arced. All right. I think I've got it. So let's see what happens. Well, ain't gonna see what happens till I hook the core power up to it, huh? All right, here we go. Fire in the hole, literally. Let's see. it going to work or is it going to die? Oh yeah, that's a lot stronger. It takes me about 4 revolutions before. Yeah, that took care of that problem. Good. See if we get any audio. This don't like crap in the audio. I'm not sure how to compose this shot. Basically, I have the TV on the on my Syncor right here, my VA62A, and if you can hear the audio, I've got it set up with a single crosshatch, and I'm generating standard TV channel 3, and needs to be replaced. It's bad. I'm not driving it with a strong signal. I'm adjusting the AGC right now until the picture comes in okay. But watch what happens. This is standard TV channel 2. I'm sorry, channel 3. I'm going to rotate it down to where it's variable. Something's not right. I really don't know. I'm not sure what would have changed. I mean, it's got a great picture. I'll show you the pin cushion I was talking about here. Take you over here and let you look real quick. Frame rate this camera's gonna get you. I'd have to change the frame rate to make that change. But I ain't doing that. I don't feel like messing with that camera. So it has a little bit of pin cushion right there, but it's not serious. I'll worry about that later. It's the audio which has got me. Not sure which direction to go with that. I'll get the scope out just to make sure, see if it's coming out of the detector like that. I don't want to call it like an alignment issue because nothing caused it to go out. You know, I didn't diddle with it. You know, left my tuning tools in the, you know, where they've blown. So what has changed? Either a tube is going bad in it or a component has changed value. Thinking about hooking the IF out from the tuner to a signal to my come from my Syncor VA62 and generate IF directly into the set. See how it sounds there. So let me see if I can make that work, and I'll bring you back. Using a function I hadn't used on this thing before. I'm generating IF into the TV set, bypassing the tuner completely. Actually works. Test equipment. touch up. A little better sounding. I think I need to make a video on working on test equipment. Yeah, this thing needs some love. I don't know, it sounds better. Here, let's get rid of that 1,000. I know that's killing y'all. Ain't doing. Nothing can substitute voice, though. Let's go back to the normal regular scheduled program. It seems like it's just completely different world. Just like that, it's changed. Beats the hell out of me. Zap the video diode? I don't think so. I know I had a problem with this adapter. I just ain't got nothing to work today, well, I'll tell you. Grab that B plus. Still got a problem with it.
Once in a while, I can hit it with this. Now you see, that's what I'm talking about.
You know what? Let's not vote. Just get the tubes to the audio section and the last stage of the video. Just change them all out at once. See what happens. All right, we're going to change the 6AW8, which is part of it's the video amp and the sound limiter. It's going to be B6, and I think it's this one here. I think. Yeah, B6, this guy right here. It's an original Zenith tube, it's 6AW8A. Got an RCA right here. Try not to destroy the package. Package don't like it's been molested much, and maybe we'll get a good tube out of it. Oh boy. RCA box, airline tube. Oh boy. Oh well. It's got a good picture and everything. I mean, a really good picture, other than that freaking noise, that static that's in this room. I don't know what it is about this place. It's just a lot of static. I haven't been able to nail it down. I do know these fluorescent lights that I hadn't changed is the problem. Alright, so we got the 6AW8 changed. So let's see if it makes any difference. I do have a problem with my 75 ohm to 300 ohm cable. Let's see what happens. Maybe I'll get lucky. Yeah, hey, how about that? The tube's lighting up. Yeah, I didn't like that. A little vertical roll to it. Made a difference on the AGC though. My word. Wow. You didn't like that tube. Wow. You didn't like that at all. It didn't affect the sound though, so that's not the problem. Alright. Wow, that made a... You didn't like that tube at all. Put the other one back in there and see if it goes back to how it was.
I had terrible flooding problems on my part. Now I understand why.
Right now, Refilter is offering a free inspection on your schedule.
Okay, back to how it was before. Actually sounds better with that tube than it does the other one. Anyway, let's change the, I think this is the limiter tube. Audio IF. Get it out. Breaking it. This looks like a 6KS6. B7, 6BN6, sound discriminator. Yep, 6BN6, okay. See if I can find one of them. Well, that sucks. All these tubes I got, I don't have a cotton picking 6BN6. So, what do we do now? Is it a filter problem? Is it bad audio, voltage issue? I don't think it's the output tube. It's a 6AQ5. I don't know. Let's get the set back in its test position, and let's just get under there with a voltmeter. Let's measure some voltages. You know, one of the 10 commandments of working on stuff is thou shalt check voltages. So let me get that set up, and I guess we'll be right back if I don't decide to quit. All right. Unless I blew something up. So, gotta get under here and check. That looks like the output tube right there. Well, let's just look at the audio. I'm pretty sure that's not audio output. Yeah, it could be.
Oracle, I know that, and you know it, but you can see how it looks.
Yeah, let's have a look.
Here's another thing we can do tonight. Tomorrow I'll make another trip in and see how I'm going. Boys, please, Kicking up any fuss in town will only make matters worse.
Got a lot of hum in it. Wow.
All I'll say this, I wouldn't give a flip nickel for the Granger's chance with that land commissioner now.
What do you think Travis's chances are?
That could be what it is.
Hands ready to stick him in his coffin and board bolt and stand by to pound the nails in.
Bonnie Roy ain't been alone out there.
Yeah, see that?
Here went anywhere without board.
I think you can you? I'm sitting there acting like y'all know everything. That don't sound like... That's the output tube right there. I think we're just fighting power supply. You'll see in a minute. You can see it in there if they'll just quit making noise. You see it right there? Superimposed on the audio. I'm doing an old time trick. Give me a second. This is what we used to do years ago, back in my day. Take this is an 80 microfarad, 450 volt capacitor, clip a lead on it there, and we'll put this on the power supply rail, and we'll see if that clears it up.
Yeah, I know it's hard to swallow. Shallow people are pretty good neighbors until they strangle over the other lot of stripping work.
It's a red wire on the minus side. Who cares, right? All right, here we go.
Paul and me were little people.
We'll go on the screen grid.
Like most of you. But we had a dream. Be proud of. The Rangers, they didn't see. They were stepping out of their place. Wasn't it? We all know what Clay Granger is, and what he stands for. You're sure quick to lay the blame on him, Bowden. Well, I'm not going to blame it.
I think I'm on the plate.
I my own barn and cut my own fence. You're a liar. You calling me a liar? Yeah, that's the word.
I'm wondering why.
You know, if I didn't know better, I'd swear you're the one that killed Roy. Roy gave this fella a hiding the day before yesterday. And maybe that's why Trampus did it. He and this little hyena are pals. We both know who killed Stevens, don't we, Billy? Yeah, we sure do. He's gonna hang. Stand up. What'd you say? I said stand up. I don't want to kill you while you're sitting down.
Sounded pretty serious.
You know, you better be careful, man. You may shoot yourself in the foot. Who are you? I'm just who you think I am. What do you want? The truth.
Trying to get on that plate lead. I think the truth just shot somebody.
You're on one, didn't you? You must be. I've got one left for you. You did it all, didn't you? The barn, the cattle? No. The rope did it. Roy burnt the barn, he cut the fence. But you gave the order. You did it on your say-so, and then you killed it. No, that's wrong. No, don't shoot him. I killed him. I had to, don't you see? Follow me, we couldn't be something.
Discharging cap ain't a biggie.
So what's wrong with that little respect? Let the folks look up to you. Nobody looks down the door in their lives, so we were almost done. And you ruined it, mister. You ruined it.
Let's see what the plate voltage is. Yeah, that's the screen voltage. It's 233. Should be 245.
What in the world? I can't let you drive without calling Car Shield, Steve.
220 volts on the plate. Should be 230.
I don't want you paying for expensive repairs, Steve.
Yeah, the cathode is like it's on pin
I'm
2.
afraid I can't do that until you
So
call
1,
Car Shield.
2, there's the cathode right there. 15.97 volts. Should be 15.
And up to 6,000 other parts. I'm listening. Car Shield is America's #1 auto protection company. All you have to do is call before you break down. That shit sounds pretty good. Think of all the road trips we could have with their nationwide coverage, Steve.
I love road trips.
And with the money you save, you could get those salsa lessons you've always wanted.
Put me through the car shield.
Totally.
I see why they call you smart car.
There's the audio, the grid right there. Pin 8, the output tube, 6AQ5.
800-784-1593.
All of them just
Well, we didn't like that, did it? Let's see what the grid measures.
Seriously, $19. They showed up right on time and did my dishes, my laundry, they even cleaned my windows. You just pick a date, pick a cleaner, and
That's
build
16
an
volts
office
on
house
there.
for $19. I love using Home Aglow, and I think you will too.
Gets its voltage from the volume control, I think.
Mom loves her Jitterbug Smart 3. It has all the features she uses most often. How's it going? Everything's great. Don't forget the paper
I guess let's go to the sound discriminator,
You'll get an alert when you're out.
which I believe is this tube.
Need a ride or tech support?
Pin 7.
The agents are
So
here
1,
for
2,
you
3,
daily.
4, 5, 6,
Now get 25% off the Jitterbug Smart at Best Buy.
205.5 volts. Gotta have my glasses, I can't read.
Silver dollar, a true American classic and one of the most iconic silver dollar coins in history. It has been
Hate
over
that.
100 years since the last Morgan silver dollar coin was struck for circulation. But now, for a limited time only, full pound bags of original U.S. government struck Morgan dollars
I had
are being
200
released.
volts.
That's right. You can own a full pound of 1878 to
The output
1921 classic
should be
American Morgan silver dollar coins, all in very good
about
collector's
205
edition.
volts there. It says here though it depends on the buzz control setting.
870-9476 to secure collector-grade U.S. Morgan silver dollars.
We'll suggest the buzz control.
During the Wild West and the Gilded Age. Plus, receive a bonus American collector's pack valued at over $25. 888-870-9476 to secure your full-pound bag of Morgan silver dollar coins before they're gone. To learn more, call 1-888-870-9476.
When a cyber thief transfers the title of your home out of your name, it's a race against time to stop the theft of your hard-earned equity. Many people don't know this has happened until long after it's done.
You as the homeowner think you still own a house. 3 months
Actually,
later,
don't sound
you
bad.
start getting foreclosure notices, and you realize you've got 4 mortgages on your house that you didn't even know existed.
So when's the last time you checked on the title to your home? Find out if you're already a victim at HomeTitleLock.com. Wanted or not,
Not any more trouble.
justice is coming. Kurt Russell,
Guess maybe you better swear in here.
Val Kilmer,
I'm the Huckleberry.
Tombstone. Tonight, 8/7 Central on Grit.
Would I never was close. I tried, but it was different somehow.
That don't sound bad.
I know it was good in it.
Maybe I was adjusting it wrong.
You cared for him, Elizabeth. You must have seen the good in him.
sound bad, unless I'm just having wishful thinking all of a sudden.
I think I know why it did what it did. It just wanted.
Don't look bad, don't sound bad. Back on the audio scope here. You need to get to talking a little bit more. Channel.
Okay. Don't actually know the definition of?
Oh, police forces.
Yeah, if you're really that interested, you could have just asked.
I am asking. This is me asking. What happened?
2 weeks after I finished training him, he was gunned down by scleroform surgeons. We spent months training them, teaching them everything that we could.
We are talking about one of the most dangerous parts of the planet right now. I just feel no amount of training would save that guy's life. I'm sorry to say.
I keep in touch with his widow. You know, it's nearly impossible for her to make a living over there, let alone support 2 kids. I help out when I can. So is it just me?
Don't know what's on the
Or
screen.
are you always this up in everyone's business?
Sure.
Those stents.
And it also helps alleviate some of that weight even for later on. But no, the hoop earrings
Let's
are
hit the
just
mute
so
button. Let's see what
awesome.
happens with
If
the
you
mute
want
button,
my
if I can
stats,
find it.
those are just about gone.
Show you what the mute, what that's doing on the oscilloscope. I'm just monitoring the plate of the output tube right there. Oh, it's that stupid anti-shake stuff on this camera. Anyway, I want to adjust. I've got the audio muted from the source. We get out of you guys' my face out there. But watch this. Let me get out of the way. Anyway, watch the scope as I adjust the buzz control. You see, if I go all the way counterclockwise, you see I get a little bit of right there. Now, turn it backwards, clockwise. It's minimized. I can see it go from this shift this way to this way a little. I've got it kind of minimized here. I understand these old Zeniths though. See the spikes there? I turn it clockwise, counterclockwise, get negative spikes. If I turn it clockwise, I get positive spikes. I'm just adjusting the buzz control for smallest waveform. Got a lot of water under that bridge. A lot of water since the early 80s when I was in television repair. Let's unmute it.
July. Okay, number 4. Every
Must have
single
graphics on the
time
screen.
I have these earrings. I get so excited. I own these earrings. I bought these earrings as gifts. These are nice and airy for summer. That is so true. You know, you don't want a lot of like bulk hanging off your body right outside. I think Texas has had some horrible
Audio still just
things. And the last thing you want to
don't
do
look
is
right.
jump down with a bunch of heavy jewelry. But I will tell you, these are
Buzzard.
the perfect pair. Claire's pick coming
Just
up
looks
for
distorted.
everybody out there shopping right now. Your opportunity on this piece. We are bringing this as a very, very special deal. And what we're going to be doing right now on Claire's pick, they're what, $56.99? $56.99. I'm not sure what number 8 she's talking about. Those are earrings on 8. That's
See, that is just
on 8. Your
audio's
opportunity
unsymmetrical.
right now. Oh, what?
Asymmetrical, should I say?
I don't know. We have a bracelet on 13. There's no bracelet on this tray, right? Claire's pick, 8x6.
Got a pin too that discriminate well. I can't see nothing on that.
Thousands upon thousands of these that have rated, reordered. We're going.
It's got a pin 7 that discriminate.
$39, $29.99 right now. $29.99. I mean, that cut is magnificent. She said, and. No. Oh, okay. That's right.
See that?
I'm having issues today. I feel like it's, I'm going to tell you, I have to come back with my contact.
Of course, that's inverted from the output because that's what it does. Coming out the detector right there.
But I have a contact in my right side or one of my right eye. But I have today.
It's like the IF is shifted.
Like it's out of whack. And so, like, it's got this weird kind of thing. And so, that's why I got to touch my eye. So I'm trying to like, he's like,
one thing, hang on a second.
Knock your contact out of your eye. It's one of those things that.
One thing I don't have is a FTV sweep generator. That don't do it. What do? Play with a discriminator? Boy, I hate to do that. L10's a trap, and L9, let's see, sound takeoff, let's see, sound limiter grid. I don't know. My first thought was go in there and start tweaking. I don't have the test equipment to do this. But it shouldn't, I shouldn't have to adjust nothing. Something's changed in this set. What has changed? That's the question. So let's look at the limiter. Checks and voltages here. I don't know what pin 6 is supposed to be. It says here pin 6 is ground. That's the suppressor grid. Let's look on pin 5. See what we got. 765. About 66 volts. Calling for 73. Let's see. Pin 1 is 3.5 volts. So let's see what's on pin 1. Right down here. What are y'all looking at? My God, I'm awful today. I'm sorry. I think my heart's in it today. About 2.7 volts. Calling for 3.5. Well, that's not unusual. And pin 2. Pin 2 is pretty much 0, and it should be. It's got just a couple of little picofarad caps in there. So that's not a problem. So let's go over to B6, which that should be B6 right here. pin 3. So let's find pin 3. 1, 2. Pin 3 is 55.5 volts. Calling for 58. I mean, that's not really off. I really want to tune that. I really want to tune L9. But I hate to do that. I don't know. That's a good one. WWSD. What would Shango do? Audio don't sound that good. Have the buzz minimized. Still got some capacitors that's doubtful in here, so but so many times you got a bunch of these old resistors in here. Guess I'm going to just go in here and start measuring the resistors in each one of these audio stages and see if I can find something that's out of tolerance. Maybe one of these here caps that need to be replaced might just show up in one of those. Probably go ahead and test the power supply filters, see how they test. Ring out that filter choke. Order a handful of capacitors for it, and I guess that'll be that. So anyway, let me do that. I ain't gonna bore you with all that. Okay, I decided to let y'all in here and have some of the fun anyway. Here's my light right here. You can hope it ain't too much in your way. Gotta have a little bit of light so I can see. So I started checking resistors. And the first thing I did is I checked on the audio output tube, pin 2. The 6AQ5 should be about 680 ohms, and it's measuring 675. So that's not a problem. Let's see, the transformer measuring 620 ohms. I think that's right. So the next thing I'm looking for is there's a 1,000 ohm resistor that comes off of the that feeds 275, goes from the 275 volt port to the power supply to that 1,000 ohm to one of these capacitors right here, and then it goes to the screen grid of the tube. So I really just need to go from here to here, measuring 1,297 ohms. So that looks a little high. If I'm measuring the right spot, I just got to find it. All this is all like, what was that guy's name? Bannerson TV, I think that's how it goes. Anyway, he says this wonderful loop point-to-point wiring of Zenith. Now, I'll have to agree with that. They did, this is all back in the day here. A little orange wire right here, so let me find a little orange wire. Orange wire goes over here. I'm looking for a 1,000 ohm resistor somewhere in all this mess. Again, I don't have my close-up glasses. I'm looking for a 1,000 ohm resistor. Do like we do in the telecom industry. Find a lead, we just pull on it just a little bit. You're in a 66 block. Oh, there's another filter cap I didn't see. I missed one. There's one right here. I'll be John Brown. There it is, and there's a 1,000 ohm right there. Okay. That 1,000 ohm is a little high. It's reading, it's 20% tolerance, but it's reading 1,300 ohms. I don't think that's going to be the problem though. But we'll keep that in mind in case we can't find nothing else. I don't think that's the issue. So all of that has been looked at, so we're not worried about that. So there is like a 390K going. Let's start on the B7, the 6B and 6 sound discriminator. Pin 7 goes through a 680 ohm resistor, which is right here. Let's measure that. It's measuring 712K, so that's at about 680, 20, it's about 33K high a little bit. I'm sorry, 33 ohms. That's not bad. That's not bad. And then here's the 390 right here that goes into next. Let's see how it checks. That 390 is a little on the high side. It's measuring 0.427, so it's 427K. So those two are a little high in value, but I'm still, again, not 100% sure that will be a problem. I'm not convinced yet. It could be. Who knows with these things? That comes off the 275 volt rail. So, but the voltages were, yeah, so-so on here. So let's keep going. Let's see, any more resistors I need to worry about? Let's see, yes, there's a 27K coming off of pin 5, going to the main B+, so pin 5, so let's find it, 765, there it is. And, what did I say it was? 27K? Yes, here it is, big old 2-watt carbon resistor. Oh yeah, that sucker's measuring 27K, measuring 36K, so that one's out of tolerance, big time. The pin 1 of the 6BN6 is the cathode of the B7, the 6BN6. That's going through the bus control, so I'm not too worried about that. So pin 2 is going through the T6, which looks to me like the discriminator, if that's what it's called on this. Kind of weird looking little dude, the detector. So let's measure pin 2 to ground, and we should have some kind of connectivity. So let's measure pin 2 to ground. That would be right there. For about 0.5 ohms, which is probably the meter leads. Yeah, about 0.2 of an ohm if you subtract the meter leads. So that's good. There's another resistor here I didn't see, off of pin 5 with the 6B&6 V7. It's a 10K resistor, 10% tolerance, and that's feeding the plate of the 68W8A sound limiter. So let's come off of, let's go back to pin 5, look for a 10K. So let's see, 765, 10K. There it is right there. It don't look the best in the world. Let's see. 10.58 kilo ohms. Well, that's fine there then. I guess it's fine. So out of this circuit, these three resistors here, 680, 390, and a 27K, those three are out of tolerance. Let me remeasure just to make sure I'm saying. 27K is measuring 35K. 390K is measuring 426K, and then the 680 is measuring 713. So they're a little high, but not terribly high. But you know, probably change them. What the hell? Can't hurt it. But I don't think that's a smoking gun. Alright, so the next resistor that we got is on the 68W8 V6B, pin 2 to ground, which is the grid. It's got a 100K ohm resistor from pin 2. So pin 2 is going to be right here, so let's measure it. That's showing a meg. Am I on the right one here? Pin 2 to ground should be 100K. 1, 2, right? Actually, am I measuring right? I'm sorry, I measured backwards. Pin 2 is measuring 98 kilo ohms. 100K right there. That should be ground, which it is. So that's okay. Everything else is a bunch of capacitors. Going back to that plate of the audio output, the primary of the audio output transformer, it measured 600 ohms more or less, and that's what the schematic, I didn't know what exactly it's supposed to measure, but it's measured 611 ohms and schematic says 600, so we're good there. So I don't know, not sure where to go with this. I mean, there's only 500 resistors in this TV. Not sure where to go with it. Got some bumblebees here that I'm just dying to get rid of. I don't have a clue what circuits are in. I don't know. Sure didn't know about, I forgot about it. I didn't realize that there was another filter cap in here. How could I miss that? Because it's buried underneath the yoke, that's why. So I got a 4 section here, which is the main filter, and this 3 section here, which is apparently subsystems. Kind of measure resistors here, see if I can find anything kind of odd. 33K there, measuring 40K. Wow. This is a resistor here. A little like an 82K. I got an 82K resistor here measuring 0.383 meg. No kidding. Yeah. Yeah, it's measuring 380K. Boy, that one's way out of there, isn't it? Let's turn the meter around and make sure it ain't some kind of stray voltage messing with the meter. Yeah, turn it around, it measured 29K. What kind of voltage still on there? Turn it around and measure 73K. I don't know. Odd. 100K right here. Measured 98. What else? I could do this all day long on this stupid thing. 100K measuring 90. But we're dealing with audio. Everything else seems to be okay. We're dealing with audio issues here. There's a little coil right here. Choke coil. That's okay. So is it an IF string thing? Is there something going on with the AGC or the IF? I don't know. Have to power it back up to see. I'd like to know what these two these two bumblebees are doing right here. I don't know. Don't know what they're doing, man. Game over, man. Game over. Let's see. Measures about 15 meg and a half. 3.3 meg. I still don't know what these are doing. This one here is a like a .068 because it's got a blue, gray, orange band. So that would be .068. Well, I'm thinking big as it is. Then I got a brown, green, and orange here. It's a pretty big cap, so that might be a .015 or a .15. Let's figure out what it does, just for grins and giggles, huh? So I got you here already, so. That's right there, it's a yellow wire. That yellow wire is going up here into this transformer. Yep, it's C7. C7 and C4. So it is a .15 right there and a .068 right there. Those both go feeding our bypass caps in the with the AGC, and goes into the IF input. So I don't know. You know me, I'm kind of itching to test them. I don't think it's a problem, but I'm itching to test a capacitor, so. Yeah, it's got a hairline crack in it. General rule of thumb in my book is you see one of these things, he's thinking bumblebees, change them out. If it ain't bad now, it will be tomorrow. I'm going to test it real quick on the Sencor. I'm not going to bother with the see, let me get the voltage value of this. Get my trusty old I'm at the point now I'm going to order parts. So anyway, let's see, where is the tester at? Let's go and get you in frame. Anyway, there's the capacitor right there. So it's a violent wire, that's 700. This is a 700 volt capacitor. Let's see, this is a 1, 2, 3, 4. Appears to be a 5-bander. So it says your capacitor's rated something, I can't even read this. Yeah. Capacitors less than 1200 volts have only 5 color bands. So we gotta just do the blue. Oh my gosh. I wish I had a camera that would just follow where my hands are. I know this is a 700 volt capacitor. Pretty sure of it. So let's see, I'm just using my little spray calculator. I already know what the value is. All I'm worried about is that fourth value, 1, 2, 3. This is tolerance. I'm sorry, it's got a red band. The tolerance is a, I screwed up, didn't I? So it's a red band. Well, that would be 200 volts. Yeah, you big dummy. Golly, 200 volt capacitor. Oh, let's see, 200 volts. That's your klutz. It's Friday, I need a margarita. Alright, 200 volts capacitor. All other caps. It's probably going to check good. This is getting replaced. I don't care if it's good or bad. Let's see what the capacitor value is. Measured 0.215 microfarad. Amazing. Check the leakage. It's leaky. It's measuring about 1.6 megaohms. Yeah. Just for grins and giggles. And I left my meter on. Ooh, that was bad. I hate it when I do that crap. I want to put it on the old heat kit just for fun. Here we go. I got it on the heat kit here, and it's supposed to be a 0.068 microfarad capacitor. Let's see. Wrong scale. Barely got a reading right there. And yeah, put it on the 25 volt scale, and the eye opens up about halfway. Put on 150 volts. Yep, capacitors. Definitely a bad bumblebee. Yep. So we got to change that dude out. We kind of figured that though, didn't we? Here we go. God, I suck today. Anyway, about as far as we're going to go with this set as far as troubleshooting anything. I think we've got to get some good capacitors in it. Alright, this is the 0.15 right here, and it's a 200 volt. That band right there, it's a 5-bander, so 1, 2, 3. There's another band in here, it's hard to read, but there's a band there, that's the 4th band. Then that band there is a red, that's the 5th band, and that red is a 2. So that is a 200 volt capacitor right there at 0.15 microfarad. And I'm pretty sure it's got a split in it somewhere. I don't have my glasses on. I'm fairly certain it's bad. So let's put it back over here on the Syncor. See what the Syncor thinks about it. Matter of fact, I'm just going to kind of do both machines. Alright, let's do the Syncor. So this is 0.15 microfarad, so we'll put 1.15, oh, it's clear, 0.15 microfarad, 200 volts. Put our patented leads on there, which we have not calibrated today. With these value capacitors, I don't think you have to, so I'll get that out of my hand. Let's see what the value is. Measuring 0.248 microfarads. That tells you right there it ain't no good. Let's see what the leakage is on this bad boy. 2.18 meg. Yeah, that's leaky. It's a leaky mall. Checking on the old heat kit. Let's see. Also on the heat kit, when it very vague readings, that means it ain't good either. 25 volt scale. The eye is about to like the other one. It opens up a little bit more than the other one. Let's put it under 150 volts. Under 150 volts though, it completely closed. So it's not a capacitor anymore, it's a resistor, as Mr. Carlson would say. So there you go. Get my ugly head out of the damn way. I don't think this will fix the buzz, but it does affect the IF, and if they're not doing their job, it could be getting some, you know, if they're not capacitors anymore, it's right there on where it's feeding voltage to the tuner, so if they're not bypassing what they should be doing, it's possible it's interfering with it. Who knows? So this thing needs a handful of capacitors, and it needs a few resistors, so I guess I'm just going to go in here, and there's a couple paper ones, ceramic papers in here. I'm going to find out where they're at and check them. They'll probably check good, but they might check bad. I don't know. So I'm just going to go in, check a few more resistors, check a few more caps, and make it a parts order and order the parts. And when I get time, we'll look at it again. So that's that. If I find some smoking gun, I'll get right back with you. Okay, I've got the main filter cap pulled loose finally. Wasn't that big a deal. Let's see, that's going to be C63A, B, C, and D. I did my in-circuit tester, and it says possible disconnection. In other words, it's asking you to take the component loose. So it's so much for in-circuit component. I've never used that feature of that thing before, but I'd rather test something out of circuit anyway. I wouldn't mind having one of those ESR meters like you see Bannister use and a couple other guys. That thing's really cool. Just put it on there and buzz it out. Wouldn't mind having one of those. Somebody got one, send it to me. I'll make a video of me dancing on a table just in your name. Alright, so got all the leads taken off of that capacitor, and I also got the leads off of the filter choke. So I want to measure that filter choke too to see just how good that is. So with that being said, let me write down the values of this capacitor. Let's see, so let me think, where is it? 63B is a 40 microfarad. 400 volts, so the square is going to be a 40 microfarad, 400 volts. It's very important information. Then the half moon is going to be an 80 microfarad. I'm honestly not looking for this capacitor to be bad, to be honest with you. Now I got to find the other two. I think the other one is the audio output. Or is it? No, that's C18. I'm sorry. What am I looking for? I'm looking for the one in the vertical output. Vertical output C63A, which is 100 microfarad. That's going to be the pyramid. 100 microfarad at 50 volts. And then the other C, and I guess I could look on the schematic. On the parts list to find out what that is. Here it is, 10 microfarad at 25. It is on the cathode of the horizontal output tube of all things. So, let's see, a 10 at 25. Alright, now that I got that information, let's set it up. Let's go ahead and do the 80 microfarad. So we'll do 80 microfarad, see what I say, 400 volts. Alright, we're just going to use these handy dandy test leads right here. Clip it on right there. Let me discharge that capacitor to make sure it's discharged. Should be. Why are y'all looking at me? I always get so carried away working on this stuff, I forget to do what the hell I'm supposed to do, make this halfway entertaining. Again, I do apologize. So we're doing the 80 microfarad, right? So that would be the half moon, which would be this guy. So let's test it. Here we go, capacitor value. 80 is showing 62 microfarad. And it's actually showing a little pretty leaky. It's showing about 3.8 milliamps of leakage. So it doesn't like that one. Let's do what the ESR says on this guy. I think. Says it's got about 1.28 ohms ESR. Alright, so that one, capacitor's tired. It ain't completely bad, but it's leaky and it's not really where it should be. So let's go to the square, which is a 40 microfarad. Well, it's 40 at 400, so let's see what it does. It's measuring 29.2 microfarad. What kind of leakage we got on it? It's showing about 5.8 milliamps. So that one's no good. Alright, let's do the next one, which will be the one that's going to be a 10 at 25, 10 microfarad at 25 volts. So 10 microfarad at 25 volts. Showing 9.92 microfarad. Yeah, the sync cord don't like that one either. Just discharging this cap because apparently it holds a little charge on the other ones when the sync cord didn't like it. So let's do the triangle now. The triangle's going to be 150. So we'll set that up for 100 microfarads at 50 volts. Capacitor value is reading 50 microfarad, and the leakage is going to be 67 k ohm leakage. Of course, it went up there. It likes it. It actually liked that one right there. So the ones that really is the higher voltage ones here. So, okay. Oh, let's see what this rings out as on this inductor. Let me reset everything. All right, let's go down here to get on there. Let's see if it rings out. See if it likes it. I'm going to do inductor value. Showing 1.112 henries. See if it rings. Let's see. Set it up as coil. It says it's got 5 rings. So what does the manual say this thing is supposed to be? Let me find the parts list. That's going to be T11. of all things. T11 just says filter choke. 95-11663 filter choke. I'm telling you guys, that thing don't look too good. I kid you not, as they say. Let's get that light out of the way. You don't believe me? I'll pull it out and let you see. Might tear it up just getting it out. Pretty bad, boys and girls. That stupid light out of the way. I don't know what's happened to this poor thing. It's just a couple of, I mean, here's the back side of it. It's been hot. This set's had a lot of hours on it. All the insulation, all the enamel's coming off of the outer windings from fine to, there it is. Really don't trust this thing. So, here we are at a crossroads again. We've got a yoke in here that don't look much better than this transformer, this filter choke I just showed you. However, the picture tube is good. The set does work. We've got some kind of issue with the sound. I don't know exactly what. Found some resistors out of tolerance, capacitors that were leaky, filter capacitors need to be replaced, and I have a feeling the choke suffered because of that filter cap. That filter cap was pretty rough. It's been on long enough. I've used this set long enough to reform those capacitors. Anyway. So I have a decision to make. Do I want to spend the time and effort? I can probably repair this coil, this choke, and a little Captain tape and here and there and a few other things to kind of help insulate it and secure it a little bit better. I mean, you're looking at another $30 worth of capacitors, you know, including shipping. But I got to replace or I mean, it's going to be, I'll have to I like restuffing just because I don't have to rewire the whole thing. If I mount a terminal strip somewhere, then I got to move all that wiring over there, which I can do it like Carlson does it, or I can just restuff it. I can pull that capacitor out and restuff it in less than an hour. Instead of restuffing, I hate that word. Sound like I'm restuffing a deer, you know, deer mount or something. Rebuild that capacitor. Thing about those capacitors that I use in all these, the ESR levels are not super low. I mean, but if I buy some that's got super low ESR, they're going to be huge, and they're not going to fit in there. So it's a trade-off. But every one of them that I've rebuilt, those can electrolytics, they've worked. You know, so if it's that mission critical, all duty is a different thing, but I haven't run across a need to have a super low ESR capacitor. Now, if I was working on some solid state hi-fi or something like that, that'd be different. But I don't work on solid state hi-fi, and I have no desire to. That's a whole different level. I'd rather work on this old stuff or old test equipment or something like that than work on that kind of stuff, because that takes a different kind of knowledge of all the little transistors that, like a 2SA 1675. Oh, well, that's not as good as a 2SA 1822. I don't know that. I'd have to research every bit of that. I usually try to go back in with what I pull out, because I wouldn't know, oh, well, that 2SA 1815 is not as good as a 2SA 2295. Just saying. I don't know that. I would have to look that up. And I don't feel like in this, I'm just not, that doesn't interest me. Working on this old stuff does. So back to this set. So I'm trying to decide now what I want to do with it. I hate to throw it away because it's good CRT, and it is working. So I'm probably going to try my best to clean this this filter choke up. Too bad it doesn't give the values on it. I want to see if I can find it in a Thorson look up on a Thorson, and it may give me the values. I'll just kind of reverse engineer it. If I can find what the value is, I might be able to find one. Anyway, that's all for now. Hate that we didn't get it going, but you did see the pin cushion on it. But honestly, that yoke is so rough. I just really don't want to mess in that area. So ain't nobody in this country gonna care what it looks like other than me. So, but I'll probably stay and play around with some magnets on it. Anyway, let me cut y'all loose. It's a little after 3 here, so I have enough time to do a little research on this and go ahead and get home mouser and get the stuff put in my not my shopping cart, but my wish list, or project list, should I say, because I got the other capacitors for that frequency counter, that DC voltmeter, that HP 405CR. I've got those on there, and I get these right here. I'm going to make a few more resistance checks, so hopefully I can get the parts ordered today. If not, it'll be Monday, and with the holiday I probably won't get them till at least Thursday. So there you go. Talk to y'all later. Thank y'all for watching. Like and subscribe if you hadn't done it already. Leave the comments down there. Very rusty on these things. It's been years. It's been years since I worked on a TV show, but I have worked on them and I have been around. It's just I forgot more than I know. So anyway, any ideas about the buzz in this thing, let me know, because it is a Zenith and I know they're really prone to that, these models. So anything y'all can think of that's known to work on these to help that out, let me know. See y'all later. Bye-bye. And like Eric on Pine Hollow Auto Diagnostics, bonus material. Majority of the resistors, there was a handful that checked it a little high. There were several of them that was out of tolerance enough. So the ones that I thought was most important, I'm just going to see if I've got some. I'm going to see if I got a lot of, I think I probably have a lot of the material that I need for this. But one of the things I noticed was there's a little neon, NE2 neon bulb that's feeding the brightness control. Apparently it's a regulator, so as the B plus varies, the neon is kind of like a regulator. I got looking at it. I didn't touch it now. I did not touch it. But I noticed the leads getting up to it was kind of green. I didn't even touch it yet. And it went boop. Fell off. So, a handful of capacitors. handful of resistors, and an NE2 bulb. I'm thinking about pulling a layer of those windings off the outer layer of that choke and then redoing it, because those outer windings are gone. They're just me handling it will probably make it short. But like I said, I'm going to look it up, see if I can find one, and I might be able to just find a choke somewhere that somebody's selling on eBay. Might even find an OEM one. But anyway, that's it, guys. Thank you for watching, and this is it this time, I promise. And y'all have a great day. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.